Hi, now we're going to look at an application for creating concept or mind maps using a website called WiseMapping.com. Now, one of the nice things about this is as a teacher I would certainly sign up and create an account, etc. But that you can actually work outside that environment. You can try it with no login, which can be handy for students. Okay. So this is bringing you to a mind map that already exists, and you can see that really what it is it's like a graphic organizer. So I can go in there and I can edit the text. I can delete branches of the map, so I can just click on things that are there and delete them. Let's just try this, diet. We'll make this branch be exercise. We'll make this branch be sleep. Now we have connectors here already. So I can click on this connector and I can delete it. Okay, diets, fruits and vegetables. Whatever I want to put in here. Nutrients. Okay, your toolbar is located across the top, and this is a very simple set of tools. But in a way, I think that's good. It focuses students on the web or the concepts involved in the organizational structure as opposed to a lot of bells and whistles. So let's take a look at what's down here. We're going to notice that there are some things in our template that were already here. So you see this little smiley face. If I click on here, these are icons. And you can see that I can add multiple icons. So now you've got not only a smiley face, but a little penguin. And if I mouse over those, I can just eliminate them like that. So if you put something in there and you're not sure that you want it, you just take it out. This is a little different. If you mouse over it, you can see this is actually a YouTube video. So we'll take a look at how to do that in just a second. So let's get rid of that image there. And this, if I were to click on it, you can see that the address for the YouTube video is there, and I can simply remove it. And now it's back to just being text. So a couple of other things. Let's get rid of these icons. We can add back in what we want. Now the selection of icons is not expansive. There you go. Okay, but let's look at how we might add additional branches to this organizational chart. This program is not always the most intuitive. I might look up here for the options and not see them. Best place to look is up here under shortcuts, and it's going to tell you the things that you can do both on a Windows system, Windows or Linux system, or on a Mac. So in other words, to create a sibling topic, meaning one of equal level to the one that's selected, we simply hit the Enter key. Whereas if we want to create a child topic, we can simply hit the Insert key. So let's take a look at that. So if I want to get something equal to these, exercise, sleep, or diet, those are all branches off health. So I'm going to click on health itself, simply hit the Enter key, and the topic will appear. So I'll just do that. Now notice that because I did some formatting to the main topic, that's going to appear here, and we'll look at how to change this, how to change the format as we go. Now if I want these branches off a main node, these are called nodes. They're the top level off the central topic. If I want to add to that on a PC, again, I can simply hit the Insert key. Remember, I've got to come back and select the node before I hit Insert again. If I don't, if I'm selected over here and I hit Insert, I'm simply making a chain. Now that's easy to delete. You just simply click on that. And let's look at some of the basic controls available to us up here. So first of all, we have a save file. we also have an undo and a redo. So if I were to insert that accidentally, of course I could delete it, but I can also just go to the undo button and that would reverse the last step. There's a zoom out, which can be handy if your map gets very large. There's a zoom in to work on selected areas. There is a topic shape. So if I click on diet and I come in here and I say, right now it's a line, I could change that to a square. Or I could have changed it to, you know, a more circular shape, rounded edges. These are very simple options. There's not a lot of choices when you do that. But what I can do is I can use that to say, okay, you know, I'd like this to look like these others. And if I want to select more than one, I can do that. Simply on a PC, you're going to click the first one, hold the Control key, and click around and select the additional objects you want to deal with. You can see there I've got a little problem because I failed to change the color of the text itself, and that would be done over here. So it's kind of like a charcoal gray they've got going on there. Okay, so there you go. Very, very simple tools, as I said. You can add, these are to add additional topics. So whatever level you're selected on, if I'm selected on health and I add an additional topic, it's going to come down as a node. You undo that. But if I'm selected on the node itself, oop, I forgot to change the color on that one. If I'm selected on the node itself and I add a topic, also going to come at a node level. But if I'm at the topic level and I do it, you can see that I get an additional topic. So ways to work with this without using the keyboard, although the keyboard is pretty quick and it's not terribly hard to learn how to do, so that's worth investing a little bit of time in. Formatting options in this application are limited. Okay, so it's really all about the content in the organization, but let's look at what is available. I can click on the main subject area here, and then this is the topic color itself. So you can see that that's a background color there. This is a, let's just do it in green so you can see it. That is a border color, so those are going to apply to that shape. In order to have them apply to another shape, I'm going to have to use something other than the line. These things don't work with this line option over here. Although you can see that I have changed the little node circle here, the little connector there. Okay, so that is the line color and the background color of the shape. You can add icons here. So unfortunately these are somewhat limited, but they're here and they can be used to kind of group things. So if I had a couple of related kind of nodes, I guess I could put those in there. It would be nice if you could import them, but at this point you can't. I can also add, this is handy, something called a node. Okay, so you accept that, and that's nice, so that when somebody comes in here and mouses over it, you can add to your description, so you can give additional information by having them mouse over that icon. This is very powerful. This is one of the best things that you can do, is you can add a link. So if I wanted to link to, say, a website, let's just find an article at random, New York State Department of Health. Okay, we can take their website. I'll copy that. And I'll pretend that's about exercise. And we'll just say add a link. Simply paste it in there. You have a link to that site. Now, one of the negatives here is that I'm really only allowed to paste one URL in here. So I can't put multiples across there. But what I could do is if I needed to put in more than one link, I could link to a Google Doc that I've shared, say, and I could include my additional links on that Google Doc. So it's always a good way, if you're linking to a Google Doc, always a good way to group a series of resources. Okay, if I wanted to, let's just come here to YouTube. Okay, and we're talking about sleep now. Why do I need sleep? And again, I'm not advocating any of these links, I'm just randomly grabbing them. So I can copy the URL for that. And I don't have to do it here, I could do it on a lower branch as well, which would again expand the opportunity to provide more resources. Okay, so that's how you can add some links to things. Now, this relationship connector is a way for you to customize the connections between. So right now you're connected, health is connected to each of the 4 main nodes, and then those are connected to subtopics. But if there was some type of special relationship between other things, I can use this, and let me just put it here because it's a little longer. Okay, but I could connect between any of these things. So you can see that there is a relationship, say, between diet and exercise. And then if you carefully select the line, and it can be tricky, you've got to be right on it to select it, you're going to get these 2 handles, and these handles will allow you to change the shape of the line, you know, if you find that more convenient. Okay, so simple tools. Last options you have here deal basically with the font. So if you're selected on any particular area, and I'm going to use my control key to select multiples, because you shouldn't have to do this a million times to get it to work. You should be able to multiply select. This is a font type, so I could change the font to, say, Times New Roman. Looks a little different. I can change the text size, and there are limited options: small, normal, large, and huge. We can bold them or unbold them. It's a toggle, so you click it on and off. You can italicize them or unitalicize them. That's also a toggle. And then you can even change the font color if you want. So that's a way to help with your chunking of information or your organization, is simply being able to change the look of things slightly. Again, very simple tools, simple options, but in a way that's an advantage. Students can use it themselves to help organize their thoughts and connect things in a meaningful way. Okay, now in order to finalize this work, if you're having students use this without creating an account, you're going to have them take a screenshot of this. So they're going to have to kind of do it in one take. They can hit their print screen buttons, and then you can go into any type of image application. You can actually go into something like Microsoft Word if you really wanted to, but something that I'd suggest, if you happen to be on a PC, you can go to Paint. It's free. It's been on PC since Windows 95, I believe, and simply paste it in there. Now you can see that it's gotten the entire screen, so more than what you want, but these tools come with any sort of image editing program will get you through this. You can crop it down to eliminate what you don't want. So there, I'm getting rid of that. I'm grabbing this little box, and this is just in Paint. There are a variety of ways to do this. You may well have more sophisticated tools to do this. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Rotate it another 90 degrees, because in Paint you can only really grab the right and bottom handles. And then if I just do it 2 more times, I'll be back, and I can save this as an image. Okay, so that's one way to do it. However, if you, let me not save that. If you do have an account, if you have students sign up or you sign up yourself, then that's a little easier. You can click on here and you can say, well, let's open this up as a mind map. That's the best way to do it. You can see that you get these additional buttons on your toolbar. Now, this isn't the same map. But you can share it, in which case you can just email it to people. And that's nice because you can actually do a little collaboration here. So you can allow them to edit or just to view if you want. We should know how to use that from our work in Google Docs. You can also publish it when you enable the sharing. This is embed code, so this is something you'd throw in a web page, which is nice, but you can also just take this public URL and email it to someone. They'll be able to see it. You can export it. So these are mind map formats that you can bring into other programs that do this type of work. But for most of us, we'd be looking at either a PDF or an image file. Now, an SVG is scalable, meaning if you grab it and make it bigger, it shouldn't pixelate. It should expand and allow you to do it in any size. But you can also use a PNG or a JPEG file if you're more comfortable with those particular formats. Okay, and there is a history button. So if you're working within a logged-in environment, you can come into a history and then you can revert to various versions, and those versions will be determined when you save. So it's not really like a Google Docs where it's going to save automatically. You're going to have to actively save it as you go. Okay, so nice basic tool for either you or students to use, and I hope you find it useful.